Can you hear me? Geppetto's puppet. We need your help.
Yo, what's up, yo? It's your boy the Ashen Lord. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Ashen Games. We are back with another review when it comes to your latest titles, and of course today we're gonna take a deeper and a closer look towards The Lies of P. One of the most ambitious Souls-like game in 2023, and probably one is been the best executed from all the genres that is trying to imitate, of course, the Souls genre and generally. Coming from a South Korean developer named NeoWiz. NeoWiz is known for games like Skull the Hero Slayer, Sanabi, and much more. Coming the newest and probably, like I said, the most ambitious project title ever, The Lies of P. The Lies of P is a brand new Souls-like game inspired by the beautiful and astonishing masterpiece novel of Carl Collodi, the infamous and timeless classic Pinocchio itself. But within the story, it sets himself within the dark, derelict city of Quoth. Lies of P is a great entry into the genre itself, with a fantastic atmosphere, fearsome foes, fast, precise combats, and a world that is clearly inspired from the software all-time and endless masterpiece, Bloodborne.
You found her, Guide One.
In all and in many ways, The Lies of P comes extremely familiar to what we know and love from software games. But in a small difference, The Lies of P truly puts the efforts and delivers a satisfying journey moving forwards. The Lies of P draws, of course, from its literary roots, which is the element that you are playing as a puppet boy named Pinocchio itself, while you are crossing different paths of characters that you know from the books like Geppetto and Jiminy Crickets. As you might imagine, it is far from just retelling a beautiful literary masterpiece that is widely known as Pinocchio itself, but the story of The Lies of P leans himself towards you playing in a ruined world that is rampaged by puppets and spreads for different forms of diseases. But surprisingly enough, you know you entered a new era in this increasingly crowded Souls-like arm race, when we are now turning into childish classic story into a dark twisted Bloodborne pseudo-sequels. Yes, The Lies of P is yet another game that is inspired by the dark and of course unforgiving from software masterpieces that have captured the minds and hearts of so many gamers across the world, including myself. But it's also an undeniable impressive standout amidst the seas of games that is chasing the Souls-like trend. It suffers from some uneven difficulties, and overall linear level design, which is simply breathtaking to venture forth in it. But the impressive thing about The Lies of P is put within this extremely well-rounded combat system, memorial areas and boss fights, which simply you have to play and see for yourself to understand what I'm trying to say. But the most interesting and impressive thing within The Lies of P is simply its scenery itself. From its beautiful Belle Epoque inspired city of Croix, that is decorated with beautiful architecture and enjoyable sight of life. For example, like the charming houses and stores you can see in the area itself, and grand opera houses of a remnant of a circus, mad puppets roaming around trying to hunt you down like a prey, while the corpses of the victims lay down strewing around the city in its cold, damp streets, giant soulless factories pumping exotic fumes, and ruined structures lurking outside the outskirts of the cities itself. The thing is that The Lies of P thus follows the blueprint pioneered by the From Software down to the finest details itself. From the precious few deviations that it tries to do in its combat metrics, from the UI, the menu is simply striking similar to what we know as a Souls-like players itself. From the aesthetic, is almost identical to Bloodborne itself, and the combat system is methodical, form of a dance between attacks and parries that is equal towards Sekiro and Bloodborne itself. That is designed for a certain form of difficulty level. even to the smallest details how the story is told from different form of books, the characters you meet and overall gameplay, and of course the journey that you find yourself into. So it is important to follow this thread if you want to understand the full picture of the story itself, from the minuscule details you find from the books and of course from the characters you meet left and right. At some occasion even the Lies of P give you certain options to tell the truth or lie, which give you the option to be acting like a human or a puppet. Small little details that fit themselves perfectly how the universe of Pinocchio truly is about, embedded within the beautiful and the dark mythology where we know and love from the Software games itself.
Welcome to the sanctuary of the Grand Covenant. Prove your identity. Who are you? Grand Covenant's fourth law. A puppet cannot lie.
From a combat perspective, the Lies of Peace covers many elements that you can expect of these type of games, like strong and normal attacks, stamina management, dodging, although overall it does toss you a few little tricks on its own. The first of all is how the blocking system works within the Lies of Peace. When you block an enemy of any form of attack, you still get a certain form of damage. But if you want to recover that form of health, you have a small portion of chance to do so while you are attacking at a similar time. Similar towards the mechanics that you know from Bloodborne itself, the rally system. Enemies can likewise recover their health by hitting you on the process itself. They as well passively regenerate health over time. This mechanics encourage you as a player to stay aggressive as much as possible. Enemies also have a form of invisible stagger meter around them. When you broke that stagger meter, you have the opportunity to do a very powerful counter-attack, and Bloodborne terms like a form of a visceral attack. This comes when you do a complex form of taking steps and attacking to be able to pull this off. First, you have to lower his enemy stagger meter by landing different form of attacks or do something that's called a perfect block. A perfect block, you can compare that towards the parry systems that we know as Soulsborne gamers from Dark Souls, Elden Ring and any other games that we know from Sekiro up to Bloodborne. The perfect block within here allows you to reduce your damage overall to 0 itself, only if you time it correctly, but also it helps you increase your stagger meter towards the enemy itself. At the same time, it gives you the opportunity to do a very powerful attack one moment your stagger meter is completely full. A form of a rewarding system if you manage to do it and time. Then once your stagger bar is completely drained, you need to make sure that you land of course an active charge attack to be able to pull off the stagger meter execution mode that follows himself a very powerful attack. But the interesting thing about the entire system is that it feels extremely rewarding so long as you're able to pull it off correctly and in due time. Even if you are extremely powerful and this move is extremely powerful against bosses itself, you must remember that you have a time limit to be able to pull it off. Because at the same time the boss itself is attacking you, moving and trying to avoid your attacks as much as possible. So it keeps you truly into your toes. But the one thing I truly love is overall this combat system is really amazing as a Soulsborne player. Slicing just through enemies and hearing the sounds of tearing metal is just something feels extremely satisfying. And the sense of combat that you receive with every single hit, it feels really good. To help you carve your way through a variety of different type of foes, you have an abundance and an access to a very large arsenal of weapons. From quality, dexterity, strength, all the way to arcane type of players itself, which includes swords, spears, axes, as various types of numbers of consumables you can use. Beside of normal attack of every single weapon that you acquire, you have 2 special attacks that are determined by the property of the weapons that you wield, the blade and the handle. Furthermore, you can create new combinations of every single weapon by dismantling them and mixing them and matching with different form of parts. Besides legendary weapons that are required from boss souls itself. You also have access to different legions arms, which are a form of prosthetic arms with their own unique attack and functions. For example, the purple strings have an instance like a pull grabbing systems, allow you to pull enemies towards you. You can use it very well as a form of a gap closer even. While the full mine arm unleashes a powerful electric charge. Aside from that, these attacks, your legion's arm is also used to sharpen your weapons, restoring your durability of your weapon you are equipping, adding temporary weapon buffs like fire and electricity to add it all above. Arms can be upgraded too, so it gives you an extra function of every single type of arms that you see and feels like that is perfect for your playstyle. Aside from leveling up towards your designated maiden, you can also augment your character, playstyles and upgrading something that's called your P-organ.
P-organs are the source of your powers. Collect quartz to get the strength you need.
A P-organ is something which allows you to unlock a variety of different forms of ability, including passive effects like increasing your pulse cells for healing, longer staggering windows, different type of dodges, and the list is long. So take your time in analyzing every single one of these aspects, or simple fact, join my Discord, ask me every single thing during my live streams if you're still struggling with the mechanic itself. But if you want to activate these effects, you're gonna need something that's very rare, a form of material, and it's called himself a quartz. It can be found by killing bosses or find them behind different form of safe boxes that are hidden in different zones. They are extremely valuable, a form of upgrading your arsenal, your P-organ. So in another sense, it's extremely important that you pick your abilities correctly, because the quartz itself are extremely rare to find itself. Knowing that, it adds a new layer of form of decision making and strategy how you're making your builds moving forwards. The one thing that truly stands out within the Lies of Peace are the bosses. The gigantic menacing bosses like the Parade Master and the Flame King itself are often one of the most fun and nice challenges you can have within the Lies of Peace. Most of the bosses are solid through and through to fight, not really the most difficult ones, but give you a decent challenging experience. But on the other hand, you have bosses who you have to fight multiple enemies at the same times. Those bosses are often the weakest one of the bunch, but just the most annoying one because you're fighting more enemies at once. Some bosses even have some unique hidden encounters. That's something that we call within the Souls community, something is like a face-to-face. They can be quite tricky if you are newer into the genre and stuff, and you're not expecting it. Can be quite diddly and of course frustrating for newer players. But if you're having trouble in any forms, shape or form, you can always summon something that's called an AI companion to help you or give you a helping hand. But if for you able to do that, you need to spend something very unique and specific consumable that's called the star fragments. These consumables will allow you to summon a unique AI that will help you of course in doing your battle against a difficult boss. These items are relatively easy to find and to farm if you're of course running out. If you are a Soul gamer, you will be familiar with the hub system. And the Demon Souls, we have the Nexus, and of course within the Dark Souls, we have the bonfires itself. The same concept is applicable within the Lies of P. Within the Lies of P, you have something that's called the Hotel Quad. Hotel Quad is your hub within the Lies of P itself. In this zone, you can of course level up your character, buy some different form of consumables, a different form of vendors you have, and of course make sure you have unique form of characters sent towards your hub. So if you want to, of course, have unique access to a certain form of gear that only those type of characters can have access towards to. Besides all of that, leveling it up and of course meeting new interesting characters left and right, you can also train yourself in different form of training dummies within the Hotel Craft itself. As a gamer itself, and of course for software fan, I'm always reluctant if it comes to trying out games that try to emulate, copy from software groundbreaking genre itself, that is his way of creating games itself. I'm always reluctant even trying out these copycats left and right. But if it comes to the Lies of P, I'm honestly positively surprised at the outcome of this beautiful game itself. Normally I always try to say that you do not copy the 16th chapel. You can try to copy it, but the 16th chapel is always going to be the 16th chapel, no matter how many artists trying to recreate it. The original is always going to be the original. The same thing is applicable if it comes to software itself. But the unique thing if it comes to the Lies of P, even though they are a blind copy from software itself, they're still trying to be original in the type of the combat matrix and the unique things that they add left and right if it comes to making their type of game unique and from her essence itself. You're putting aside a unique story itself and a beautiful game tapestry. Lies of P is a absolutely a chef kiss and of course a love letter towards from software and Bloodborne and every single thing that we know if it comes to the Soulsborne community. It is a game, if you haven't tried it yet and you are a From Software enthusiast, it's definitely a game I'm gonna recommend you to try out. Because on the wait, of course, to the next Soulsborne game, it is absolutely one of the best adaptations towards any Soulsborne game in 2023 moving forwards. And my experience within the Lies of P is only a positive one, and I truly hope the next adventure from this beautiful studio becomes something original, completely out of the box, and not anymore this type of a blueprint copy that we're seeing, of course, that is visually if it comes to the Lies of P. Even though, like I said, they try to be original in certain forms, it's unfortunately still very much a blueprint from software itself. You just change the name from New Age to From Software, you openly will think there is another From Software game, hands down. But overall, I will really enjoy my game moving forward, and I'm definitely gonna replay this game once again multiple times, New Game Plus and even beyond that, because this game is truly remarkable. It's a lot of fun. It's a 100% recommendation if it comes to action games itself. If you like this content, don't forget to press a like, your comment and subscribe to the channel. I'm your host, Untitled Chapter itself, and once again, welcome very much into action games itself. Any form of question, you know the routine, you can always reach me on Discord, Instagram, Twitter or Twitch, and any other social media page you will find linked in the description down below if you're interested to see what I do on a daily basis. I stream on a regular basis as I grow as a content creator. The only thing I'm always striving to do is create a community that's everlasting, and of course meeting new people. You'll be part of the family. Always nice to meet you. Come and join the family, Twitch, Discord, just name it. Ask me everything you need to ask. I'm always there to answer every single thing. I'm literally an open book, put it like that. Anyway, if you like this content, do not forget to press a like, because to move the algorithm of my video, and of course subscribe yourself to the channel, because it helps my channel grow moving forwards. I will stop rambling and I will let you in your evening, morning, afternoon, no matter where you are chilling and listening to me right now. I'll bless you and a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys on the next Let's Play, gameplay walkthrough, live streams, of course, the next review within Action Games. I'm your host, Untitled Chapter. See you guys next time, man. One love only. Peace.